No apologies, Republicans revolt against Trump. Donald Trump's plans to skewer the Democrats has backfired badly, with Republicans showing the president-elect that they don't take orders from him. In the US, Donald Trump may have wanted to point score over the Democrats when he and tech billionaire Elon Musk scuppered a spending bill to avert a US government shutdown, but it has galvanized many Republicans to defy the president-elect instead. No apologies, tweeted Republican Congressman Chip Roy, who openly defied Donald Trump by voted against a revamped spending bill which could have added to America's $58 trillion dent pile but had the president-elect's seal of approval. Mr. Trump furiously said the Texas politician had no talent and should lose his seat for refusing orders. Mr. Chip was one of 38 Republicans, a significant number, to ignore Mr. Trump's demands. It's a sign he may not have things all his own way when he steps into the White House next month. If Congress does not pass a funding bill by Friday evening, US time, Saturday afternoon in Australia, the US government would effectively close down, with public workers not paid and almost 1 million staff furloughed. Government services could also close. The drama exploded on Wednesday when an interim budget, nutted out over months by Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson and the Democrats, was presented to the House of Representatives. This temporary funding package, known as a continuing resolution, would have kept the government spending ticking along until mid-March, several months into Mr. Trump's second term. At that point, the new president could have tried to implement his budget. But Elon Musk led the unexpected charge against the bill. Many hours later, Mr. Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance also chimed in, urging Republicans to vote down the very budget they had drafted. The bill included more than $100 billion in disaster relief requested by the White House, $30 billion in aid for farmers, restrictions on investment in China, and the first pay raise for politicians since 2009. But Mr. Musk, Mr. Trump and Mr. Vance objected to what they said were Democratic add-ons to the budget. That's despite the Republicans claiming, for instance, that the Biden administration had not spent enough on disaster relief funding for victims of recent hurricanes. If Democrats threaten to shut down the government unless we give them everything they want, then call their bluff, said Mr. Trump on social media. Mr. Trump's denouncement of the bill was particularly humiliating for Speaker Johnson, who has been trying to placate the incoming president while ensuring the government can function by working with the Democrats. He knows his job is on the line with wild suggestions Elon Musk could replace him. The initial bill duly failed in Congress on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, the Republicans came up with a new version of the bill endorsed by Mr. Trump. Some of the so-called pork had been stripped out, including millions of dollars to fight children's cancer. And some of Mr. Trump's demands had been shoehorned in. The key one was the lifting of the debt ceiling. This allows the US Treasury to borrow more money to finance more public spending. But it also racks up more public debt. If the government spends more than it borrows, it could default on its debt, which would lead markets into turmoil. All Republicans, and even the Democrats, should do what is best for our country and vote yes for this bill. Mr. Trump said. Yeah, nah, was the reaction from the Democrats, who were in no mood to play nice on a new bill they hadn't been consulted on. But more than that, a chunk of economically fiscal Republicans, like Chip Roy, said raising the debt ceiling was a step too far. Mr. Trump's version of the bill failed by a hefty 174 to 235 votes, with 38 Republicans voting with the Democrats against it. That sent Mr. Trump into a fury. No apologies. Mr. Trump lambasted Republican obstructionists, seemingly got politicians who don't wholeheartedly agree with him, and said they should be done away with. Mr. Roy, he added, should be dismissed as being utterly unknowledgeable as to the ways of politics and as to making America great again. Chip Roy is just another ambitious guy with no talent. He then called for the Texan to be kicked out of Congress at the next election. I hope some talented challengers are getting ready in the great state of Texas to go after Chip in the primary. He won't have a chance. Mr. Roy, who is a conservative, was unrepentant. My position is simple: I am not going to raise or suspend the debt ceiling, racking up more debt without significant and real spending cuts attached to it, he said on social media platform X. I've been negotiating to that end. No apologies. Democratic Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries rubbished the budget bill. The proposal is not serious, it's laughable. Extreme MAGA Republicans are driving us to a government shutdown. While Joe Biden's White House said it was a giveaway for billionaires. The defiance of Mr. Roy and the other Republicans has shown that while Mr. Trump, and now apparently Mr. Musk, have enormous sway over the GOP, they do not have total authority. It has highlighted the Republican Party's tenuous hold on power. Yes, Mr. Trump's Republicans will have the trifecta of the White House, the House of Representatives and the Senate. But his majority in the two houses is slim. If only a few Republicans disagree with Mr. Trump, many of his plans could be toast. Already, Mr. Trump's pick for Attorney General, Matt Gaetz, withdrew from the role after it became clear enough Republican senators loathed him that he wouldn't be confirmed. Republicans will likely try again with a more pared-down version on Friday, U.S. time, although the party leadership offered no clear path forward, telling reporters they would have to meet to discuss a Plan C. That could mean laborious votes on individual parts of the budget. A Christmas shutdown of the government now looks almost certain.